Good morning, councillors, staff and members of the gallery. I'd like to declare the meeting open. Federation Council wishes to advise members of the public gallery the council meetings will be recorded and available after each meeting on the website of the council. All care will be taken to maintain the privacy of those in attendance. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded, and by remaining in the public gallery, it is assumed your consent is given in the event your image is broadcast. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting today, the Bangarang people, and acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who now reside in this area. I extend that respect to elders, past and present, of the Bangarang nations. I'd now like to call for apologies.
Mr Mayor, there's an apology from Councillor Meagle.
Councillor Meagle, is there any apology? Would someone like to move that? Moved by Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Law. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Notifications of peculiar interest in meeting items. There be none. I'll move on to confirmation of minutes of the last extraordinary meeting held on the 29th of May, 2018, and the ordinary meeting as well. Would someone like to move that? Moved by Councillor Longley, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. All in favour? I'm sorry, and 5th of June. Are those members happy with that? Yes. Okay. We'll put it all in favour. Against? Carried. Longley and Kennedy. There'll be no burial minutes, so we'll move on to the General Manager's report.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Report 5.1, Councillors, is Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference 2018. The venue this year is in Albury, at the Albury Entertainment Centre, which is quite close and handy for Council, and it's great to see it coming back out to the region every second year that it does. So that's our annual forum as a policy making and decision making forum. Quite a lot of networking and future shaping occurs at those forums, so that the council recommendation is before you there to note the report, to authorise that the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor and General Manager attend that conference, with the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor being Council's nominated voting delegates, as is normal practice. Also consideration there that Council may wish to, either today or a future meeting prior to closure of the registrations, consider other councillor attendance given it's local, and the costs would therefore be quite minimal regards to obviously accommodation and things like that wouldn't be needed. So if councillors were to move that recommendation, consider inserting councillor names.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Law. Any questions or comments?
The discussion of for later.
Yeah. Councillor Longmire.
Just a quick one, Mr Mayor, if I may. I think, as the General Manager's pointed out, the location of the conference is close to us, and as many councillors that would be practical, I think, should go to it, because you can come home every night, and so it would be very valuable to have it, and show us, a real strength from this council.
Excellent. And if those councillors, as soon as possible, might go forward to make the arrangements for booking, that'd be great.
Could we then, for Rochelle, tidy up, and could we put that interested councillors or available councillors before the word councillors be authorised to attend?
Absolutely, I concur with that.
Yeah. Just the other way. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Perfect.
Second, happy with that? Okay. Anything further? If not, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Councillors, this is an interesting one. 5.2 is naming the meeting room, which is the recently refurbished and renovated space just off to our side there. So it's currently unnamed, and it does, we think, require a name suitable for that meeting room. It makes bookings obviously a lot easier for internal, external meetings, and it also gives the room a bit of presence as well. It's an excellent venue for training, catering, other formal and non-formal events to occur in there. Committee meetings can occur. So the recommendation is to note the report on the naming of the room off the council chambers in this building, and that the room off the council chamber at the Cora Civic Centre be named, and we just want to put that to councillors for consideration. We haven't suggested any, whether there's any from the floor or whether it's something you want to defer for further consideration because it is new upon you, but we just want to bring it to the realm.
Moved by Councillor Wales and seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any questions or comments? Councillor Longmire?
In regard to, have we got a name suggested?
I don't believe we have.
I had one a bit earlier from one of our local residents, just a suggestion of the Tom Roberts room, referring to obviously the famous painting sharing of the rents.
Yeah, the one that I think we can get locked into some perhaps former councillors, but then we credit some and miss out on others. I think that the neutrality of it would be something along the lines of perhaps the Federation room, but certainly the Tom Roberts room is one that I never thought of. I'm not sure what other councillors think, but I was certainly interested in the Federation room. That'd sit well with the Federation room at the Cora Civic Centre, but so would the Tom Roberts room sit well with the so I'm a bit inclined to go with the Tom Roberts room. I'm happy with that.
Any other comments? Councillor Watson?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I concur with Councillor Longmire. I thought that if we were to pick out a local identity, it probably offends some or doesn't offend others, and you miss some. But I, in theory, thought something like the Bangarang room. The only reason I thought with the Federation room is there is a Federation room at the RSL.
Yeah.
And I thought if someone said there was a meeting at the Federation room, you've got to put it out pretty straightforward to tell where that is. But I certainly agree that a single person, Tom Roberts' room, would probably be fine.
Councillor Wells?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. My local identity would be that bit of water down below us there. I'd like to sort of see the Murray room.
Murray room.
Thank you.
Some great ideas. Councillor Law?
And one other name we could call it would be the Tommy McRae room, the local Aboriginal artist from the area who did a lot of paintings around at the Murray and Lake Muirdermere.
Excellent. Councillor Longmire?
If I may, I'd like to nominate the Tom Roberts room, specifically because if you go to nearly every residence in the Cora or probably throughout the Shire, there'll be a painting of Tom Roberts somewhere, whether it be a small one or a big one. It's hanging in the Art Gallery in Melbourne. It's got an enormous amount of significance. And so I'd like to move that the opportunity be given for the Tom Roberts room, if I have a seconder.
Councillor Longmire, I was just wondering, because there's so much excitement about names, do you think we should give it a little bit of time between council meetings and try and get something formal in place? They're jumping out of the room everywhere.
Can I just help with the debate, Mr Mayor, ask Christy to comment on
Yeah, Christy.
Oh, it was just great suggestion. We have a couple of other meeting rooms, and we're currently just calling them community meeting room, community room 2, so we could incorporate all the suggestions and rename those rooms. Something a bit more exciting.
Councillor Thomas, did you have a comment?
No, not at this stage.
Not at this stage. How do you feel, councillors? Would you like to defer it, or would you like to make a move, Councillor Longmire, or defer it to next meeting to get some discussion going on different ideas?
I think we're up and about, Mr Mayor, this morning. I think at the whole morning we're a little bit creaky,
Yeah.
and I'm sensing that if the opportunity for the 2 meeting rooms that was suggested with Tommy McRae, which is true, could we not look at Tom Roberts for the main one and Tommy McRae for the other one?
and the Murray.
And the Murray.
And the Murray.
Murray, don't forget the Murray.
Sorry?
How are we thinking of that,
Oh,
councillor?
actually, I'm going to test the water. I want to move it. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We're going to second that.
So we just get, be okay to withdraw that one you had there, Councillor Wales, Thomas, withdraw that motion you'd put to discuss it, and we'll go with the new one with the names in it, yeah.
And if I may speak to it, Mr Mayor?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just, is Councillor Wales happy to withdraw that,
Or amend it.
or amend it, that motion?
Can we include it in there?
Include it in yours, yeah.
Yes, oh, that's what I thought it was. Thank you.
Okay, we'll amend it. And who was the second for that motion?
Thomas.
I'm not going to be ahead of it.
Thomas. Happy as well?
Okay, so
Well,
we'll get a bit of typing.
Where we at?
The motion may be in your favour there, Councillor Longmire.
Do I have the right to reply, Mr Mayor?
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. I think the transition walking from the entrance to the art gallery down here, it's only fitting when we come past the Tom Roberts room, the Tommy McRae room, we're down in the art gallery. Why wouldn't that suit?
Tom Roberts. And then Tommy McRae, was it? Second,
Tommy
yeah.
McRae.
So I'll refrain from can't bring my idea of the Longmire room forward.
And then this would be the Murray room, is that where we got to?
I just better say, we got another 3 rooms.
Sorry, councillor Longmire?
I just say, have we got 3 rooms tonight? That'll solve that problem.
Where's the third one? This one?
Two meeting rooms
So
upstairs.
we have the main room, affectionately known as the fishbowl, is we make that Tom Roberts room, and then the smaller, very popular meeting room is the Tommy McRae, and then this would be the Murray room. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And the Murray room, sorry, there's another one, this one here.
Yeah, which is
That's
where we
Clara.
started, yeah.
Why not?
Happy with that?
Happy with that?
Did you want to speak to that, councillor Longmire, or?
Oh, no, I think I've had everything.
Okay.
So somebody else?
We've got a seconder, and that was councillor Kennedy.
That was one.
Any other questions or comments? Nothing? I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you. 5.3, councillors, is annual school sponsorship. So the purpose of this report is to recommend that council include in the budget an annual allocation to allow sponsorship of each of the schools within the Federation Council area. And it's suggested that council contact each school with a proposal to provide a sponsorship for an annual award as determined by the school. So the recommendation before council is to provide annual sponsorship of $100 to each school within the Federation LGA, as listed below. And the schools are all listed out below there. Financial implications would be around $1,300, and it really just formalises most of the existing practices that are in place.
Okay, we've got a mover, and that's councillor Thomas, second to councillor Long. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Thomas?
Absolutely endorse this excellent initiative by Federation Council to support our local schools. I did note in your report though that you didn't actually give any guidelines to whom the recipient might be each year, and I just thought maybe we could take the opportunity to actually give some guidelines to our school, and I was thinking maybe to a student who showed community spirit and integrity or something along those lines, just to give them, because sometimes when you're making these decisions within a school environment, it's actually really hard. So I thought while you're actually giving them as a great inaugural starting point, that you could actually give them some guidelines, just for consideration.
I think that's a good idea, councillor Thomas.
Do you want to add that into your...
Would you like to add this?
Oh, I mean, as if everyone agrees with my, that community spirit, a child that shows community spirit and integrity. That was just me thinking off the cuff when I was reading through. If anyone wants to add to that, please feel free.
What do you think, Mr. Butler? Or
I think we could put it, including some guidelines,
Yeah.
possibly a point 2. Point 2 maybe that suitable guidelines be developed to assist in sponsorship around the themes of community spirit and integrity.
Okay, we said.
Suitable guidelines to be developed.
The second, happy with that one? The seconder was
Councillor Longley.
councillor Longley. Are you happy with that? Okay. Any further questions or comments on that one? If not, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Report 5.4 is a very important initiative as well. It's the RAMROC finalisation and the creation of a new joint organisation known as RAMJO. So that's the acronym for the Riverina and Murray Joint Organisation, to take effect effectively as of this Friday, with the first meeting of that new group, which basically is made up of most of the former RAMROC, which is our regional organisation of council members, and that's a result of government legislation coming through to formalise our council partnerships, and particularly with state government. So there's a whole heap of information and work gone into those processes, which I'm sure council are aware of. So the recommendation is to note the report formally that the formation of the Riverina and the Murray Joint Organisation, and the council for consideration here is also that they send a formal letter of thanks to RAMROC Chair and separately to Mr Ray Stubbs, the Executive Officer, thanking RAMROC and Ray for the excellent work over many years in lobbying and providing other services to Federation Council and its formation councils of Urannera and Cora. So the recommendations there for councils.
Absolutely. Moved by Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. Any questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
Report 5.5 is titled Villavici Aged Care Units Urena. This report is seeking a re-endorsement of actions, resolutions of former Urena Shire who were working through a lengthy process to do an acquisition of some Crown land up at Urena, which contained council's Villavici units, what we know as the Villavici unit up there. So the recommendation is there. It's really a process recommendation, but it's around noting the report firstly, to make an application to the Minister and the Governor for approval to acquire that land to be made into council freehold, authorise the General Manager to undertake the required actions to do that acquisition, classify the land as operational after acquisition, and then there's some process ones about not retaining any mineral rights to the land after acquisition, to fund the acquisition from the existing Villavici units, council reserve held for that property, and to authorise that the common seal be affixed to all necessary documentation.
Okay, can I move it? Moved by Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Longley. Questions, Councillor Longmire?
Clarity, Mr Mayor, if I may, in regard to the opportunity, Mr General Manager, to structure it as it's been described. Does that give us the old aged care industry is becoming and is a big industry in regard to the future opportunity? In the previous Corowa Council, we actually realised the Carinya House to a private enterprise. So we're moving in a direction where the similar opportunity would be able to be available.
Yeah, that's exactly. I suppose the genesis of this project was around the constraints, because it is Crown land, and we did look at 3 to 4 years back longer to do that aged care interest, and any of those providers were really shying away from anything that involved Crown land because of the length of their leases, and even council's own ability to keep funding into that property without having that land itself owned by council was a restriction. So it's absolutely the driver was to get more options available around that, and hence the classification to be operational does give us a lot more flexibility.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it on in favour. Carried.
5.6, councillors presents a report, Governance Essentials for Local Government. So it's a training program that councillors have expressed interest in attending to. It is a requirement, we know, for councillors to be attending training where provided and where relevant. So it's great to see there's been a take-up of councillors interested in attending this session. It's run through LG New South Wales, who do provide very good training around that. So there's a recommendation there for council to consider authorising the attendance of Councillors Burke, Kennedy, Whitechurch, Wales, and I think Councillor Thomas has expressed interest in that one. So we'd be seeking to endorse that through council and then arrange for that training to occur.
I'd like to move it, please. Councillor Longley looks like...
I'll be railroaded.
Councillor, thank you. Moved by Councillor Longley, seconded by Councillor Law. Any questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
Report 5.7 is the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal determination. So the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal has set the range of payments and fees for councillors and mayors in New South Wales for 18-19. So it provides for a maximum increase of 2.5% of mayoral and councillor fees effective 1 July 2018. And there were no changes to the categories as to what allocation councils fell into after that review. So in accordance with the Act, they've determined the metropolitan and non-metropolitan councils. A Federation Council is one of the 57 that are categorised as rural. They have therefore determined that the minimum fee for councillors is a $8,970 to a maximum of $11,860. The additional fee for the Mayor Chairperson has been determined a minimum $9,540 to a maximum of $25,880. This fee must be paid in addition to the fee paid to the Mayor Chairperson as a councillor member. Council is currently paying the councillors $11,570 per annum, and the Mayor's payment is $25,250 per annum. And the Mayor also receives a councillor payment, making the total payment to the Mayor $36,820 per annum. it is suggested an increase of 2.5% be considered in line with the determination from the tribunal, which would make the payment to councillors $11,860 per annum, the Mayor's payment of $25,880, and the Mayor receiving the councillor payment, taking the total Mayor payment to $37,740 per annum. So the recommendation is there on that basis for council to consider.
Can I move, Councillor? Thank you, Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Law. Any questions or comments, Councillor? Councillor Longmire?
Yeah, I think duty bound under the opportunity, and people might say, you know, they get paid too much money, which is always out there in people's lips, but at the end of the day, I think it's such a big shire, and the becoming of what we have to do is worthy of, and I've always spoken about the argument of over the river, you know, it's a lot more, so I think it's very valuable for what we do receive. Can I just ask, if I may, through you, Mr Mayor, to Ms Kay, a question of determination on the remuneration structure, payments, if I may.
That's fine, Councillor Longmire. Are you okay to...
Just a question on the...
A question without notice, if I may, Ms Kay, in regard to the remuneration payment. It used to be in previous council opportunity 2 days after the meeting, and as such, it's now in arrears, and normally it's the following meeting, which is 4 weeks, and of late it's been 6 weeks. So I was wondering what the structural policy changes happen for that to happen to the previous opportunity. Are you up to answer that?
Yeah. So, my understanding was that it's actually only a week from the time that the forms are submitted, which should be the council meeting time, then we pay the following week. So, that's, I guess it just depends on if you're, like, when have you been submitting your...
Always here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just wonder if there was a follow-up.
So there's no change in process, so I'll have to check why
Thank you
it's
for that.
taking
Thank you.
extra time. So it should only be a week after the actual council meeting,
Thank you.
subject to you submitting in time. Yeah.
But it also was we might be a month in arrears, is that what you...
That is correct.
Yeah, that's probably the key
History
point.
tells me that, and the payments have come through.
Yeah.
It's a month in arrears.
Yeah, okay, all right, we'll follow up, please.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Longmire. Any further questions or comments, Councillor Law?
Yeah, as Councillor Longmire says, a lot of people say that, you know, we're getting this money and what have you. We're now doing 3 times what we were doing to the former Corowa Shire, and I think we fully deserve every cent of it. It's a big time out of your own time and those people who are working, it's a big take out of their working hours, and I think, yes, definitely we should take the full 2.5%.
Absolutely, I don't believe it reflects any profit there, Councillor Waller, in that figures at all. Okay, if there's nothing further, I'll put it all in favour. Against carried.
5.8, the Mayor and Councillors presents the Community Strategic Plan, Delivery Plan, Operational Plan and Long-Term Financial Plan budgets for the next period, following exhibition and extensive community consultation, workshops and staff input. I just want to commend, I guess, the community, the councillors and the staff on the work that's gone in to our first ever, as Federation, new Community Strategic Plan for 2028. So there's been a huge amount of work gone in to preparing all these documents, and notwithstanding the other work associated with merger and our day-to-day services, so it has been a big ask, and the budget is presented before you there, a very long, detailed list of recommendations for council to consider. Also, various submissions that were received throughout the exhibition period, comments by staff made on those submissions around where those things, where we felt they fitted into our budget or didn't fit into our budget. So the recommendation is there to note the report, to adopt the integrated plan and reporting documents, and running right through. I won't read out all the recommendations, but they are on the screen for the council, and we do have to run right through our rating categories, etc. I will point out that our rating, which councils are aware of, is a 2.3% increase, which we're recommending that it goes across the board where possible on that basis, leading into the review to
mover, the first councillor is, someone like to move that, moved by councillor Thomas, seconded by councillor, Longmire. Question or comments, councillors, and I'd like to endorse the general manager's, points that, work was, council support the, all those meetings in the area, councils and staff. There was a, always had a good roll-up of, representation from the council, so that was excellent. Would anyone else like to comment on those meetings? Councillor Thomas.
I would just like to acknowledge the written submissions received and therefore thank those authors who have taken the time to research, read and forward those responses to council. And you know, from those submissions and feedback that we have received from either our ratepayers or our community, there's some really positive outcomes that have come within those submissions. So one of those is that our rates, our post offices, have been reinstated for the 18-19 budget year. I do understand that will be reviewed for the following budget, but let's look at it as a positive for this coming financial year. And also that we're going to develop a rate review committee by the end of 2018, start looking at our rates. I would also like to note the continuing contribution from the Corowa District Landcare. We established, the former Corowa Shire actually established that relationship in 1996, and it's still continuing today, which is really great. I also look forward to working with our rural and small communities through the Energise Enterprise project. You know, it's really, that can create really positive outcomes for our rural communities. And just finally, I'd really like to acknowledge council support in committing to community grants for the next 3 years and some grant writing workshops for our community group. Some really positive outcomes from the submissions that we've received. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr Mayor, endorsing what Councillor Thomas has mentioned, there's a lot of people have gone to a lot of time to put some stuff together, and as a new councillor, I guess how the rate review and how council runs through that, I'll have to be honest, I've never been part of it, and we'll be interested to see how it all comes to fruition. I did note from the presentation that Mr Peter Silliger presented to council, and Peter's obviously put a lot of time into it. I note that council's reply was that we will be having a rate review later in the year. I'm not too sure how that rate review has gone in the past, and we'd have to rely on council staff and previous councillors. But I understand that as the value of the land, from what Mr Silliger has put forward, the dearer, obviously, properties, when you apply a 2.3% rate increase, is obviously in dollar value is a lot more than a $20,000 property. So, I get the whole scenario. I'll just be interested to see if there can be further review done or an explanation back to council on how that 2.3% is attributed, because I have noted through looking at other councils that there are different ways you can allocate the rate increase. I'm sure that dearer properties pay dearer rates, but there are different methods of applying the rate increase, as IPART have suggested. So perhaps if we could look into that.
Absolutely, Councillor Wojcik, and that's why we want to use Mr Silliger's input in that review. It'll be a great opportunity to have a look and thresh out. There'll be lots of conversation, I imagine. Would you like to add to that at all, Mr General Manager?
Yeah, I'm aware of the council that did go through that process, and it's certainly, each council I've been at, and every year before we lead into a budget, there's always discussion about tweaking rates here and there and changing rates in the dollar. And I know even this Federation Council did a similar thing last year with farmland, and the valuations have gone up, so they shifted a bit of the burdens towards the farmers and tried to lessen it on other categories. But it can create a lot of swings and balances and consequences. And I guess this period we're leading into now, the direction is because we're stuck in two different rating systems anyway, which you ran had a different one to Corowa around minimum and base rate, so we're stuck in a bit of a time freeze at the moment around what we can do, and then to go and look at changing midstream without looking at the full service review of each community and what they all get. It is a lengthy process. I'm sort of glad that we're kicking it off leading into 2018, because a lot of it's about learning first what they are, the regimes around the value general and the valuation of properties and what is rating about. So there's a fair bit of learning to go on about that and what principles and what other councils have done in that space, and then leading forward looking at each the council I was aware of that did a full rate review. It does take well over 12 months to do it properly. And that's not even talking about a special rate increase, that's just looking at what does get laid out across the communities and how, you know, our community of interest mapping can work and who, and you can never get perfect, but it's about looking at where the demands are, who is paying quite a lot versus the value of their property. So it's about, you know, what Mr. Seeliger said as well, about looking at see if they can try and make it as fair and equitable as possible. But yeah, at the end of the day, the Valuer General does do those ratings, the Valuer General does do those valuations across all the council areas for those reasons to put it to council, and that's really up to council to work with within the legislation with IPART to see where they can try and better allocate each year.
Councillor Longmire.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think in the report that goes forward with the financial implications for the future, that goes right through from 2019-20 up to 27-28. And it's noted that the estimated budgets in the future for that period of time are of a major concern in the report. That's what it says. And the report is done very well. I mean, our own source revenue, which is a 60% thing for Fit for the Future that we've all been entitled to, locked in at, and it's really worthy that it's noted here to go forward to be aware of it. And I think that some people in the room, especially some good calculators out the front and one sitting over there that will keep an eye on this. And I think we as councillors need to be mindful to make sure that we take that into consideration for our judgment of capital works expenditure especially. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
That's the end of the General Manager's report. Just going to ask the Mayor to consider bringing forward one of the later reports, which is report 8.5 on the Cora swimming pool. If you could move and second to bring that forward.
Absolutely. Moved by Councillor, seconded by Councillor Thomas. That was 8.5, wasn't it?
Yeah, so just wait for Rochelle to make sure catch up with us. Yeah. So is that all in favour of that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, all in favour, councillors? Yeah, bring it forward. Carried.
So that's Mr. Gall, just that one report, Peter.
Just previous Ned. The Cora swimming pool report is about getting some councillors onto the committee that we've proposed to help develop the, I guess, feel and look and facilities within that broader project. Through this committee of 11 people, we're expecting 2 councillors, 2 youth councillors, myself. We're seeking 2 representatives of the Cora Swim Club, 1 aging well ambassador, 2 recreational users and an aquatic program operator, which may be somebody running water aerobics or another facility somewhere else who's interested in rolling into our facility some form of program type activity in the pools. So I just seek council to nominate 2 councillors for that committee.
Okay, would someone like to move that recommendation, councillor? Moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. Questions or comments, councillors?
Nominations.
Nominations. Would any councillors like to nominate for that committee? Councillor Whitechurch, Councillor Longley, Councillor Law. Any further councillors? We've got that right. Councillor Whitechurch, Longley and Law. Okay.
It is up to the council. It's your charter, so it's up to the councillors if you want to put more review on that recommendation there.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I think in light that there being 3, I can't see a problem with 3 councillors being on. There may be times when one councillor can't attend or for whatever reason, so I'd have no problem with seeing 3 on.
No, I'd be happy with that too, councillors. If there's nothing further, I'm going to put it. All in favour? We've got Councillor, I'm sorry, before, I'll just confirm that, Councillor Whitechurch, Councillor Longley and Councillor Law. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Okay, back to corporate and community. Corporate and community, thank you.
Good morning. The first item, 6.1, is a policy framework for the Federation Council. So we are continuing to review all the Federation Council's policies following amalgamation, and the framework has sets a process for the approval of policies, and it explains the difference in policies when we have a council policy that requires council adoption versus an operational policy, which is something that the Mannix Group can endorse, operational procedures and standard work procedures as well. So recommending that council adopt that.
Yeah, can I have a mover, please, councillors? Moved by Councillor Whitechurch, seconded by Councillor Thomas. Any questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
Thank you. 6.2 is the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee minutes. There are two minutes of the 14th of December and the 22nd of March attached to the agenda for council endorsement. We have two external members of our audit committee in accordance with the charter, and the two councillor representatives are Councillor Wales and Councillor Meagle. The council's recommend council note those minutes.
Can I move, please, councillor? Moved by Councillor Kennedy and seconded by Councillor Law. Any questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
So, Section 355 committee, attached to the agenda is a Section 355 committee policy, which will provide us with an approach to our Section 355 committees. We have a number of committees that as a council help us to deliver important community services, whether it be managing a rec reserve or running an event. So the policy is a guiding document. There's some work that we need to commence around reviewing those committees. We have developed an operational manual, which is finished in draft now and ready to circulate to councillors and to those committees together with the policy and seek feedback from those committees around what we're suggesting in terms of those guidelines. So the guidelines are a fairly comprehensive document around the management of Section 355 committees, and it's meant to be to support those committees to operate really well in terms of their duties. We will also, at the next council meeting, have a list of those committees and recommending that we appoint councillor delegates officially to each of those committees, and so councillors can work together with staff in terms of working with the committees to roll out the manual and support committees in ensuring that we can function well with that. So at this stage, just looking for the policy to be adopted as a draft document for consultation, and we'll take that together with the operational manual. We'll seek feedback from all of the committees before we finalise either of those documents.
Excellent. Moved by Councillor Longwire, seconded by Councillor Longley. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Whitechurch, will start at this end if you like.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Kerr, I'd just like to commend that idea, because since my involvement with council, I've been on 355 committees in the past, and now as a councillor I'm on 355 committee. There's a lot of things that they are bound to in the old policy that probably have changed a lot now, or we've now got a better running of how those groups are going, and I think that a review of some of those things in there will be quite beneficial, and the groups themselves will benefit from it. So it's a good idea.
Councillor Thomas.
I'd just like to thank you for pulling this document together, because it's been a long-awaited document. There's a lot of Section 355 really waiting for this document. I'm just really concerned that there will definitely need some governance training and meeting procedure training with the document as it comes forward. Yeah, I'm sure that will come from council. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas. Any other councillors? Councillor Longwire.
Yeah, if I may, Mr Mayor, I think the opportunity for the document or the manual to be able to go to the council, to the committee opportunity, wherever it is, I think that's important, and people get it. I think what we've got to be careful of, we don't get too documented with stuff in regard to regulation and that, because that turns people off. I mean, this is what we wanted back in position, these 355 committees, because it gives the average Joe Blow out there to come together all over our council area to be able to come and contribute. So I think it's so important that we keep it simple, because there's plenty of people out there that want to be part of committees and do things for their communities.
Well said. And any further councillors want to comment on that? If not, I shall put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you. Looking for a recommendation from council around the Howlong Preschool and Ballpark Caravan Park to allow the common seal to be applied to these legal documents. So Howlong Preschool, we have a 20-year lease established. It's Crown land, and so it requires a council seal for us to be able to execute that document. And the council has obviously previously endorsed the contract for the Ballpark Caravan Park, and I didn't get the resolution for the common seal at that point.
So moved by councillor Whiteside, seconded by councillor Longley. Any questions or comments, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Okay, thank you. Public art strategy. So we're really excited about this document, which has been prepared to really outline an approach for Federation Council when considering opportunities for public art. It provides a good level of definition around what public art is, and articulates the process in terms of how we would manage the sorts of the approach to the installation and management of public art. So we're also hoping that this strategy will help us to identify funding opportunities and looking for council to adopt that as a draft so that we can place that on public display.
Excellent. We have a move by councillor Thomas and seconded by councillor Wales. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Longley.
I think it's a great concept because I think I've just nodded my head to Ms. Kay's report in regard to the funding opportunity because, you know, surrounding provincial cities, you know, they get this funding and why not? You've got the imposition now, so there's no reason to why we can't submit an opportunity and get some funding from government level to do some good stuff.
Excellent. Councillor Thomas.
I'd just like to support my fellow councillor Longley and what he has said. It's a really exciting strategy for our council, and I actually really fully support, you know, the conversations that we're going to have around the engagement of public art, and considering that we've actually got two major pieces in the process of being commissioned by the sculpture that is coming from Urano that will be placed throughout our shire. I think it's exciting and that will look brilliant.
Absolutely. And councillor Longley, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'd certainly endorse that. I think there's some huge opportunities for council silo art. There is a trail happening through Victoria where they're advertising, there's booklets available where it leads from one town to the other. You look at that, there's some magnificent paintings at Henty, for example. They're all over the place. I think it's a great opportunity. We have a lot of silos, and it could benefit a lot of our smaller communities.
Definitely. Councillor Moore, did you have a comment? Councillor Wales.
I'd just like to say, everyone likes looking at art, so well done.
Absolutely. And of course, laser lights is a big one out there now too.
Yeah, we saw that last night.
Okay. If there's nothing further, I'll put it all in favour.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Mr Mayor, item 6.6, I'm actually hoping to defer that item for 10 minutes. We're just waiting on all of our Ageing Well ambassadors who are an integral part of this project are coming to attend the council meeting. That's okay.
That's fine. Could I have a move of that? Moved by councillor Kennedy, seconded by councillor Law. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you. Thank you. Item 6.7 is, as council is aware, we have a community grants program. This is the second round of that program, and we have a committee for the program which has met and with council officers and has put forward the following recommendations to council. So we received grants totaling 17 grant applications totaling $44,000, and we're recommending a total of 26,650 in cash and 1,050 in kind be allocated, which will basically be the full allocation of funding. So it's great to see it being a competitive program. Obviously, we're only able to meet about half of the rest of the funding, but some really excellent initiatives there. It's amazing what community groups can do with a small amount of money.
Excellent. Can I move by Councillor Longley, seconded by Councillor Thomas? Any questions or comments, councillors, on that one? If not, I shall put it.
I'd just like to speak to Mr Mayor and congratulate council staff involved in the selection of this. Those two girls that we meet with did a fantastic job and deserve their congratulations.
Yeah. Councillor Longley, I believe that would extend to Councillor Lotus as well. Would that be right?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. All right, if no further comments, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against, carried.
Thank you. The Festival of Fun for Kids, which was held last month, was a great success. The purpose of the report is just to provide a bit of an overview of how that event went, and certainly to thank the many volunteers that helped us run the event. Special thanks to Councillor Wales and Councillor Thomas for the fantastic dress up and for helping on the day as well. So it's a biannual event at this point, so just the council's information and note the report.
Excellent. And I have a mover, Councillor Wales, and the second to Councillor Whitechurch. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Wales.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd just like to say it was a pleasure to attend the Festival of Fun Kids with Councillor Thomas, and we assisted throughout the day, whatever they wanted us to do. It was very good. And it was good to see that extra security, Zorro, looking after the crowd.
Excellent. Councillor Thomas.
I'd like to reiterate what my fellow Councillor Wales said. It was a fabulous community event. I was actually very surprised with the amount of people that actually came to this particular event. It was a really, really pleasant surprise. And I think the community engagement is just testimony to the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to pull an event together, so congratulations to all those involved there. The only comment that I do have is that maybe for future reference, just maybe change the time slot for the day. I just felt the afternoon session might have been getting a little bit too late, maybe 10 to 2, but I'm sure you probably already had that feedback. And it certainly is an event to add to our calendar.
Excellent. If there's nothing further, I'll put it. All in favour? Against, carried.
There's a summary, item 6.9, a summary of school holiday activities that Federation Council will be running throughout their region. School holidays are only a few weeks away, or a week away, and we have a number of activities planned to help entertain the children. Special note to the Business Information Centre staff who have and it was an initiative that we kicked off at the Festival of Fun around the Federation Region Rocks, which is a great little initiative around painting rocks and hiding them around the thing that kids like to do these days. And it's a great way of getting people to encourage exploring the region. So that's going really well, and we're offering a little prize. And just wanted to note that.
So moved, Mr Mayor.
Excellent. Moved by Councillor Longmire, seconded by Councillor Law. Councillor Thomas, would you like to comment?
I actually think that those people that have children on school holidays for 2 weeks, you're going to be entertained up, because also there's a cross-border event happening in Yarrawonga Mawela, which is through the tourism board over there, and it actually runs for the week prior, and that's the flyer for it. And as you would be aware from our budget, we actually do contribute to the tourism board over there. So if we can spread the word for both events, and I think it's just a great opportunity to engage our community once again.
I think it's an excellent opportunity for us all to engage councillors and get your rocks and go for it. Just one question to Mrs. Kay. Pom-pom monsters, what would that that sounds pretty interesting. Can you elaborate on that?
Making pom-poms and turning them into monsters.
Oh, okay.
Yes, kids will have a lot of fun with that.
Excellent. I hope you're
And I can sign you up if you like.
Okay. All right. If there'll be nothing further, I'll put it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against, carried.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas, for noting exciting event for the kids these holidays. But another really important event is the volunteer celebrations that we hold each year, and we have been calling for nominations. That process was from the 16th of May to the 22nd of June. Nominations have now closed, and we run a volunteer recognition awards each year, which this year is being held on the 15th of July on Sunday at the RSL Club, and we have Tom O'Toole as the special guest and speaker. He's a very inspiring man to listen to, and just wanting to note that important event, and obviously an invitation. We'll put that in the Councillor diary.
Okay, we've got a mover there, Councillor Wiles, and seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Wiles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe volunteers are very important and they make a strong community, and to have this recognition for their volunteers is very well done.
Yeah, excellent. Anything further, councillors? If not, I'll put it. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
Thank you. So item 6.11 is so attached to the council agenda was a copy of a submission that has been made in response to an Aboriginal land claim on an area of land, Crown Land, currently under council care and control, known as Collindine or Billabong of Travellers Point. So it's a big area of land. We have, so the submission is there for council's information. There's certainly a certain criteria that we must respond to in preparing that submission. But I guess one of the important things to note is council has a recent funding that we received to develop the track between Cora and Mulwala. That track, it's an important piece of land in terms of allowing visitors to access the river, and some great opportunities in there. So we would obviously be really concerned if that reserve was closed. It's also one of the most popular camping grounds that we refer people to here at the Visitor Information Centre. So we have a big impact, and that's there for council to note the submission.
Okay, we've got a member, Councillor Kennedy, a second Councillor Law. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Whitechurch.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to commend the staff on putting that submission back on the grounds that it is being very popular, and it's not something that's been popular in recent times. That's been public access for a very long time, and whilst the council's job is to maintain it, it's quite a natural part of the river, and widely used by locals and visitors, and it's certainly one of the few places that we can access a river between Cora and Mulwala publicly. So I'd support that and continue to strive to keep hold of that land.
Excellent, excellent. Any further comments? If not, I'll put it on. Councillor Wiles, did you want to make all in favour? Against? Carried. 6.12.
The how long independent living unit. So there is attached to the agenda. The Greater Hume Council have been managing these units for since amalgamation back in 2004-2005. So it is, and actually I think it's something that we should note in the report. Is our thanks to Greater Hume Council, but it's come time for them to transfer the management of those units to council. So the ownership of the units has always been under the Federation Council, and we've been ensuring that the units, like Greater Hume, has been managing the day to day. So there are three units, and from the 1st of July, Federation Council will take on the management of those units. So we've been working with Greater Hume to ensure that that will be a seamless process and not impact the tenants that are in the units. So just again for council to note, and I guess it would be would like to suggest that we add to the recommendation extending our thanks to Greater Hume for their ongoing management for the last more than 10 years.
Absolutely.
Is that?
I'll just wait for that addition. There was a small budget with that, those units too, wasn't there?
Yeah, Greater Hume actually have been keeping a reserve, so any rental goes into a reserve to ensure that, that gets spent. They've, agreed to transfer that reserve, so we're just waiting on the, reconciliation of that, but it, certainly should allow us to ensure that they're maintained to a really good level.
Excellent. The council extend their thanks to Greater Hume for their management of the units over the many years.
Greater Hume Shire Council.
Yeah, Greater Hume Shire Council. Okay, can I have the move, please?
Thank you.
Moved by Councillor Longley, seconded by Councillor Longmore. Any questions or comments, councillors? Councillor Longley.
Mr Mayor, my only concern is how we're going to manage it, these 3 units, because we don't have a professional management team looking after properties as such, do we?
My understanding at the moment with the other units that we've got around the shire, I think councils are actually the management. Would that be right?
Yeah,
Ms.
so
Carter?
we've actually Pam Danaher, who is managing the units in Howlong. We've asked her to do the administration role of Howlong. And then we have a maintenance officer at council. So we're actually meeting there on site on Thursday with Greater Hume to have a really thorough inspection and make sure we've got a good program in place of addressing the maintenance needs, and that we have all of the administration, the leases updated, etc. So I think we'll be okay with that. But thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 units, that's good. Yeah. Councillor Longmore.
Just a quick comment to alert Councillor Longread's fears that the maintenance officer is a former builder that we currently have on, and he's a beauty, so I think they'll be well looked after.
Excellent. Anything further, councillors? If not, I'll put it all in favour. Against, carried.
Well, just through council on these comments, we definitely are aware that the maintenance levels for these units have been, more than what we've been used to. We changed light bulbs, for example. So we're wanting to make sure that we don't let the tenants down. We do certainly note that the management of property has not been the strength of council, and we're working really hard to try and address that, but I agree it's a challenge.
Thank you.
Yes. As required by council's expenses policy, I have a recommendation there for a resolution to allow our councillor delegate to the New South Wales Public Libraries conference. This is an annual conference that they run, which is excellent in terms of understanding opportunities for our libraries and future trends. We were successful in a small grant to allow our library team leader to attend, and we really appreciate the support. Great opportunity for our recently appointed delegates to gain a really good understanding of the sector and help us advocate for future needs. So have that recommendation there, and if the delegate, so the delegate is Councillor Law, and alternate is Councillor Thomas, so subject to council all being happy to attend. That's the recommendation.
Excellent. Would someone like to move that recommendation? Moved by Councillor Watchett, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Any questions or comments?
No, I'm happy to attend that
Councillor
conference.
Moore? Excellent. Okay. I'll put it then. All in favour? Against? Carried.
Point 6.
6.6.
Thank you for allowing us to defer that item. So we have, as council is aware, we adopted our draft Ageing Well strategy, and that was placed on public consultation, and there was a lot of work completed by the Ageing Well ambassadors to ensure that feedback came forward on that and was addressed. And I wanted to use this opportunity actually to invite the Ageing Well ambassadors to say a bit about the project. We've spoken about how successful this has been. So I'll just read through the Ageing Well ambassadors. I'd also like to thank Councillor Law for her efforts as a councillor delegate, council staff, Kendall Reid and Amber Hardy, and certainly our project consultant, Deanne Drage, who has really gone above and beyond for this project, so we all really appreciate that. This is just the start of work that's needed and commitment that we have at Federation Council in terms of working through there are a large number of actions in the plan around what we need to, how we can as a council work with community to support Ageing Well in Federation Council. So the plan outlines a number of priorities around the community facilities and services that require action, and we're really committed to that. And so we'd like to read through the names of our Ageing Well ambassadors and then invite them to speak. The recommendation also includes that obviously council adopt the plan, but that we form a committee to work with council staff on the implementation of the plan, and we'd like to invite the Ageing Well ambassadors to be part of the inaugural committee. So the ambassadors were Liz Seeliger, Jan Doyle, Stanley Bromley, Ida Mensforth, Wendy Ears, Judith Barber, Jenny Ennebar, Mike Gardner, Jenny Hearn, Yvonne Perrin, Jeanette Smith, would like to see if the ambassadors would like to talk to speak to council around what the project meant. We have got some ambassadors couldn't actually attend today and did prepare a really brief presentation which we'd just like to show to her.
I might, would council like to move this to suspend standing orders, please? Moved by Councillor Wales, seconded by Councillor Whitechurch. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
Yeah. So we probably suspend standing orders and we have the presentation.
That's good.
Yes, invite from OMT. The Ageing Well ambassadors together with staff and Deanne are going to have a little lunch today to celebrate all the efforts. And yes, we can play the little clip.
Hi, my name is Jenny Ennebar. Greetings from Suzhou in China. Being an Ageing Well ambassador has been a great experience for me. I have enjoyed meeting new people and finding out exactly what the residents of Halong would like to see as they age through their life. I look forward to seeing the strategies of the 8 themes implemented on my return to Halong. Thank you.
Okay, and there's one up.
Good afternoon. My name is Yvonne Perrin, and I'm privileged to represent the community of Oakland in the Ageing Well strategy process. I would also like to apologise for not being able to attend today's council meeting. I would have thoroughly enjoyed it, I'm sure. One of the things I've been particularly privileged to do is be an ambassador for the Ageing Well strategy and representing Oakland as my town. I also feel that it has been wonderful for the members of the community in Oakland to have somebody on the Ageing Well committee. It has brought a lot of people together, it's created a lot of discussion within the community, but it's also made people feel a lot more secure about how they will age within the community and how Ageing Well as a strategy may certainly take into account their fears about ageing in the community. So all in all, I think a very successful project to date. I understand there's still more to do, but all of the ambassadors have represented their areas very well, and we're all keen to continue in the process of seeing some of the initiatives get off the ground. Thank you.
And any other ambassadors want to talk to council? Just, yeah, so if you wanted to say some words, just come forward.
Are they all sitting over there? Not
Good morning. I'm Rita Stiligo, and I'm very proud to be one of the ambassadors for the Mulwala part of the Shire. Being an Ageing Well ambassador has really helped me understand my community, and also I'm very, very, very proud to say that it's given me a lot of pride in knowing that already we're doing a lot of wonderful things in the Shire for the aging population, which I am one of. And I enjoyed working with Jan. We had a lot of fun, and my fellow ambassadors under the guidance of Deanne, and of course Amber and Kendall. And it was wonderful that we all respected each other's towns, the needs of each other's towns, because what was somebody else's needs, you know, may become another town's needs. So it was really a very interesting strategy to work on, and we did have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, but a lot of hard work went into it, and I'm really proud of that. And going forward, implementing the strategy and informing the community of the services that are already available to them, and obviously the extra services that will come, I think the Shire needs to be congratulated on doing this, because I think other shires might look at us and think we really need to be doing what they're doing. We're running already, something that came out of it is our gentle exercise classes in Mulwala, and I'd like to let you know that between the two of us who are taking the classes, of which some of the councils have been to for a short time, we have 30 to 40 people between the ages of 55 and 94 coming every week. Now that's fantastic, because the aim of Ageing Well is to stay steady on our feet, and that will lead to living healthier, longer, and staying in our own homes for longer or for life, which is also important. And look, Peter and I realised we lived in paradise when we thought we might go and live somewhere else last year, and it didn't work out, and we're really happy. We live in paradise. Can we make it better? Yes, we can. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and Councillor Pat, thanks very much for allowing us to speak this morning. When I was appointed to be one of the ambassadors by council, during the past few months, since it started, it's been an honour for me to work with the other ambassadors and to achieve the result that we've achieved. It's been a lot of hard work, and to be able to work with Deanne and Kendall and Amber and also from the council, Councillor Gail Law, it's been terrific. Ongoing, I'm hoping that after the strategy's been approved, the council appoints a committee to be able to continue the work that has been achieved and done by us people. I'm hoping that some of our ambassadors will also be involved on that committee. And once again, I'd like to thank the council.
Good morning, Jenny Hearn, and I represent Urannah, Bora Creek and Miranda. Look, it was a pleasure to be invited to come on board. I've met a lot of great people, and strangely enough, you know, our ageing worries are the same no matter where we live. And this, I feel, has been very well addressed by Deanne and our leaders, and I certainly hope that council can implement the recommendations that have been put forward, and in doing so I feel we can turn a negative, which was our ageing population, we could turn it into a positive for our council.
Thank you.
Well, was there anyone further that wished to speak? Or, but before, oh, sorry, there's a lady over here who'd like to,
Thank you. Just a few brief words supporting what others have said, but also just acknowledging that in my 30 plus years of living in Howlong, I have been a resident of the local government area of Hume, and then Corowa, and now Federation. And it is a real interest to me, and it was most enjoyable and fruitful to find the commonalities of interest with people from Urana, from Oaklands, from areas that I haven't encountered before. It was both beneficial and enjoyable, and I'd really like to thank those people who gave me that opportunity, and do trust that the future outcomes will be so fruitful again. Thank you.
Councillor Wales, would you like to?
I'd just like to say, Mr. Beale, I'd like to congratulate all the Ageing World ambassadors, and it just so happens that while we attend a community conversations meeting at Mulwala with Councillor Thomas, they have a class going there. And I'd like to thank Liz for that lovely music we danced to, and it's very soothing. Well done.
Yes, well, I'd like to endorse absolutely the words that have been said. It's amazing when you sit here. We've spoken about it's been pioneering experience. This Ageing Well, it's been inventing something that's really absolutely amazing. We've quoted this before, and I think later in the year we need to push for an award for such a program. But I also, it's amazing to me. What struck me this morning, it's a strategy that's helped with merger implementation. You've all got out into each other's communities, which has created a lot of different interest. But look, I think it's a real take your hat off to you people. It's been absolutely a great journey. So I'd like everyone to put their hands together. And ask Deanne, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, just something very quickly. I just wanted to say what a pleasure it has been to work with these wonderful ambassadors that are representing your communities across Federation, and also with Kendall and with Amber. What a fantastic team. You're in safe hands here in Federation, there's no doubt about that. I have now no doubt that this Ageing Well strategy will come to life in a really special way. The most important, crucial part of it is that we engage not only who we already have involved in this project, but all those other members of community who we really need to get involved. We need those service providers to come on board with us and have those conversations and really open up those opportunities to invest in this community and to invest in our ageing population, and to also work with those other generations. Let's get some intergenerational things occurring throughout Federation Council, because that's where we get those really big wins. So with that, I say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to work with you all, and I won't go too far because it's just been too fun. And I wish everybody the best of luck with implementing the plan. Thank you.
Yeah, we'd like to break from my team. What a wonderful job Jan has done for the Ageing Well strategy. So I think it's special for you. Councillor White, did you want to make comment, or did you want a copy?
No, I don't.